So many people have been asking me on how I started freelancing, and I thought I was gonna make a video about this today. This is my whole story from how I started until today, and I want to split it up into two parts. Just the timeline, how it happened, and second part, how I made it happen. What did I do to get into all those situations? I hope you like it. So back in 2015, I think, I applied for an internship at the Red Bull Media House as a video editor. And I had my interview, and have been waiting for like 5 or 6 months, but finally in the beginning of 2016 I got in, and I spent my time at the media house for about a year. And I was just like having an internship for the first half year, and on the second half of that year I was just a normal employee. And this was pretty much my first contact with the professional side of filmmaking. I've been making movies, you know that, all the trampoline movies, I've been movies since I was 10 years old or something, but that was the first time in my life where I had a professional approach to it. So that has been a very intense time of my life. Lots of learning, lots of new input, obviously. But then after that year, I decided that I would want to, I wasn't sure at that point if I want to study film or like go to film school. But I didn't, I just needed some change in my life. So then I started traveling, and I just took my camera with me, and I was traveling for 3 or 4 months. And that was the time where I've been thinking about, okay, what do I want to do next? Should I really apply for university? What should I do? And I've just been thinking about it before, and at that point I really wasn't sure if I wanted to continue in that industry, if I wanted to continue to do films, because when we came back I didn't apply for film school, but I applied again for the second time at that point to become a teacher and like learn at a university. So Maria and I have been moving to Innsbruck at that point, and she was doing her studies, and I did my teacher training in university for about 1 or 2 months. And after these 2 months I was like, fuck, why did I even start this? This doesn't make any sense. I just want to make films. This makes me so happy and is so much fun. So why do I not continue in that? So that was in November 2017, and that's where I started freelancing. I decided to be self-employed because I didn't want to go back into like a company. I wanted to learn experience on my own, in a sense, and I knew that would come with lots of struggling and hurdles and problems probably, but I was okay with that. I was 19 years old, and I wanted to just try it out, pretty much. So that was in the end of 2017, and that has continued for like that first part of my freelancing has been going on for about like 3 or 4 months, where I really like struggled to find jobs and struggled to get in contact with people. I had some smaller jobs here and there, but like back at that point I had no idea how it's all gonna continue. So I just I shot some proms and edited these prom videos, and did some smaller stuff of just people I knew, and I just told them that I'm gonna start freelancing now, and if they would need something, and that was cool. It was a great time. But yeah, that was the first time, and then in February or in March 2018 I started to get some bigger jobs. They called me, or they saw my Instagram, or they heard somebody who needed somebody. It was a lot about contacts at that point. So I think I got like 3 or 4 important calls from people who told me that they had my contact from other people I knew, and these people told them that I'm freelancing, something like that. So they called me, and yeah, I got my first more consistent and bigger jobs where I got real money and money I was able to live from properly. So yeah, that has started, and then that's been just going on. Like at that point in this year, for me it was just important to say yes to all the different kinds of projects, because all I wanted to do is gain experience in freelancing and say yes to every single project, because I also needed the money and I wanted to know how different people just act on a freelance kind of job in a different kind of way, and I just wanted to gain experience, pretty much. That was the first part. And then in summer 2018, Red Bull called me again, and they asked me if I want to join them for the World Enduro Super Series. That's like a series that is going over the course of a year, where there is like a race on a different location, and I would edit on site, on location, while the race is happening, as a social media editor. And of course I said yes. Oh yeah, I forgot that. Before that, I was also coming back to the media house here and there, just for like on a weekly basis. If they needed an editor, they called me, and I could come back to the place where I did my internship at. So that has been like this contact with Red Bull has never really faded away, because we're all friends and we all like each other, so we have been in contact anyways. I just have been at the media house directly sometimes for freelancing weeks or 2 weeks or something. But then anyways, I started to do WES, the Enduro series, and that was my first real on-site, on-production experience. And yeah, that has just been continuing like that. I did that for the whole year, and at the end of last year, so at the end of 2018, it's just like, I was really stressed out. And it's all been so much over the course of that summer and that autumn. There was so much work in the end, more than I could ever handle. And I still I was aware of that, and I still wanted to just do all of that, because I knew I want to gain experience. I want to just see how it works. And at the end of 2018, I was just done. I was really exhausted by all these different projects. The thing with freelancing is you have to schedule your time properly. That's my only job, my laptop, and I need to figure out when there is a deadline, how to coordinate, how to do that's there, and it's much more than just editing or filming videos. It's the whole concept that it makes it so exciting for me. I initially started to freelance because I didn't want to separate my life with work. I didn't want to go to work and then come back home afterwards and I get money in exchange. I didn't like that concept. This has always felt weird to me. So I just wanted to break that barrier and just live, and while I'm living I make movies, and that's what I wanted to call my work. So I was aware of that, but at the end of 2018 I found myself very exhausted and it was just really a lot of input over the whole year. So I don't actually know what changed exactly, but this year it pretty much just continued like that. Winter seems to be a bit more relaxed than summer, but at the same time it's not. It's just my feeling maybe. But in winter and during Christmas time and December and January I try to slow down and just chill. And after that it just pretty much continued like that. But what has been really different this year in comparison to last year is that I have, I guess, less jobs, but the jobs themselves are more going in depth. They are more intense in a way, and they are also more fitting to what I actually wanted to do. Last year I just said yes to everything, and I didn't think about if I want to do that, if I want to do that, if I want to do that. And this year I started to also work together with other people, and we were handing each other different jobs. And that reason that I could be a bit more selective on the jobs I want to take. And that has been like that was a good decision this year, because I feel energized right now. Like I'm really enjoying it right now. And that's because I did less jobs, more in-depth jobs. And yeah, maybe the projects themselves have been more in tune with what I wanted to do. So yeah, and that's now is November 2019, and yeah, I'm still at it. I was in the second year with Red Bull this year as well. Their last race has just been finished last weekend, and yeah, it's all going on and lots of moving all the time, and I get to know new people all the time, and then I stop being in contact with clients from like a year ago, and I think that's the normal process. I'm still like I'm only 2 years in, so I'm still in the early days, but this definitely has been a wild ride so far, and really interesting for sure. But now this is pretty much how it happened, just the timeline of how I started and how it is right now. But I feel like the much more interesting part is how I made it happen, and how it just happened the way it did. Like, how did I get these calls? How have I been in contact with all these different kinds of people? I feel like that's the hardest part to initially start. 2 years ago, I found myself in a position where I just had or like 3 years ago, I had no idea where to start and who I should call, or if I even should call anybody. And I feel like the most crucial thing of the last 2 years has been on the very first day where I decided to start freelancing. And that was my intention. Okay, I do not want to go to university. I do not want to study film school. I do not want to work at like a 9-to-5 job. I didn't want all of that. The only thing I wanted at that point was I want to be a freelance filmmaker, and I want to gain experience and have jobs. And the fact that I narrowed that in so much and only gave myself permission to a future that is exactly like that, I want to be a freelance filmmaker, opened all the doors for me, because I noticed that in different parts of my life, and when I have a goal, and my goal is not like I do not do everything that nourishes that exact goal, but I keep it a bit loose, because I'm maybe unsure if I really get that goal or I achieve that goal or whatever. If I keep that goal loose, then it's gonna react to me in a loose way as well, so it's not gonna happen. But like for me, I also found myself in a very financially sketchy situation. I didn't want to do any other jobs, and I knew I could make money with freelancing, but I didn't have a lot of money at that point, and I knew I need to make money quite soon in order to survive. So at the same time, I was quite stubborn, but also very focused and determined, and that was the exact thing I needed to be back at that point. And yeah, that focus, that straight up intention has been so crucial for my actions day after day after day after day, I think. Yeah, and I've been talking about it in a different video, in that update video I posted a few days ago. But like during that time in beginning of 2018, I also did a teacher training from that Yes Solution thing I've been telling you about, and that releasing conditions and programs in the subconscious, a very metaphysical thing, and I've been doing the teacher training there, and I've been talking about that before. But what it pretty much is like, whenever there is any fear of or experience or any situation we have had in our lives, it gets pretty much saved in our subconscious. So our subconscious just has this program inside. For example, if I see somebody falling off a cliff, or if I see myself almost falling off a cliff, or if my mom tells me I should be careful when I go up onto the mountain, I may develop some sort of fear of heights or fear of mountains. Or if I got bitten by a dog at one point in my life, I may be afraid of dogs. Or if a girl rejected me at one point, I may be insecure towards girls. But that is not me, that's just my experience I had, and now my subconscious reacting to that situation in my present moment. And when I started freelancing, I definitely found myself in many situations where I've been thinking, I'm too young to start freelancing, I'm not worthy, I cannot earn this amount of money a month, I cannot do that right now, I need to study first. All the people are studying, what am I doing? Do I even have a plan? All these kind of thoughts I have been having in my head, and this is not me, that was just my perception at that moment back in 2018. And during my teacher training with Yes Solution, I used that situation that I wanted to start out freelancing to just get rid of all these conditionings, and where I found myself at. It's really easy, and I want to go more into that in a different video. But like what I did is that I was just like going through each single trigger, because my narrow mind there, I just wanted to make it happen. I just wanted to start freelancing, and no matter what it costs, I'm gonna make it happen. That intention was clear, but now I needed to find a way to overcome all my barriers, all my hurdles. And I went through each single trigger. I was really sitting there with myself and thinking about different kinds of situations. I was thinking about, okay, I am getting tons of jobs right now, and then I would see my body reacting to it, like my body pretty much telling me, no, you're not getting jobs because you're too young, you do not have enough experience, you do not have that, you do not have that. And I would go through every single trigger inside my body and my mind and release that energy, release that conditioning, release that trigger pretty much. And I have been doing that with all the different programs until it was pretty much cleared up, until I made room for potential to grow, until I made room for myself to develop, because I'm not too young to start freelancing. It's just my mind telling me, because it sees other people who first go to film school, then start freelancing, that I am too young for freelancing. But I'm not. Like, who says I'm too young? I am not ready to earn this amount of money per month, because this is not me who is thinking that, but only my mind. I'm speaking from experience, because it sees other people who earn this amount of money when they're that old, and I'm too young for that, so I cannot earn that money, something like that. You know what I mean? This is not real, this is just my perception. So I cleared all these limiting beliefs, and what I found myself behind that was just potential, and I knew, okay, I'm ready now. And this sounds funny or weird maybe, but it was on that exact day where I got all that calls in, or just my perception changed, so my reality changed as well. This was probably the most instant way of how I had experienced the law of attraction and like the universe to be like. And then I would start to like manifest intentionally. I do not always do that intentionally, but back then I was just sitting there and I was writing down like, I am earning amount of money per month. And this felt that amount of money sounded ridiculous to me at that point. Then I cleared all my conditions. Then it felt okay. I was like, okay, it works. I trusted that sentence and that amount of money, and I did never think about it. fast forward to the end of 2018, I was doing my taxes and my money conclusion of the year, and I remembered that sentence I've been writing down in February before, and I was taking that amount of money I was making of the year, dividing it by 12 months, and what has came out was that exact number, maybe like, I don't know if it was exact, but maybe 100 plus minus euros. But anyways, it worked. I didn't think about it, and it just made it happen. And that didn't sound ridiculous to me at the end of the year at all. It was just my perception at the beginning of the year that caused that initial trigger. So yeah, and that has been pretty much my approach to everything back then. Like that was the time where I started with going more in depth into that metaphysical, spiritual topics, and I just tried to gain knowledge as well. And I've been doing freelancing next to that, and it's been going great until since that point, and it's still going great. And I'm so grateful to just make it happen. And right now, I'm in that position where I want to continue freelancing, but I want to even go more in depth with projects and select even less projects so I can put my full heart into it. I don't want to make projects anymore that I just make because of money, because I know that's not necessary. I make enough money and I can focus on these projects that really give me passion. And while doing that, I want to just make films and movies on the internet. I want to share all my experience. I want to share my message, and that's also why I want to go more in flow with this YouTube channel, because that really what gives me passion, just to take my camera, film whatever I have in my mind, make a movie out of it, and post it. That's how I initially started, and I want to focus more on that in the future now, and that's what I'm gonna do now. Yeah, that's pretty much it, I think. It's definitely been some crazy 2 years now, 3 years, and yeah, this whole experience has been the evidence and the proof for me that whatever I have in my mind, whatever I want to create in my life, for other people, is possible and already out there. It just depends on if I am ready for it, if my mind is ready for it, and if I do everything to make my whole system ready for it. Because it's already out there. Every single possibility, every single situation is already out there. I just need to have a straight up intention if I want to get it, and how strongly I want to have it. But if that intention is clear, everything is already there. Yeah. I hope my camera is still recording. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked it. Let me know if you have any other questions or just anything. Let me know down in the comments. If you want to see more of my videos, like and subscribe. You don't have to like to see more videos, you just have to subscribe. Because I'm posting more videos on YouTube now. I really want to focus on that much more, and I'm so excited to do more YouTube. So yeah, subscribe if you want. And you can also you can turn on that bell so you get the notifications whenever I post something. Thanks guys.